All right. Welcome to Goof On, everybody. I'm your host, Rich Giordano. It is July 9th. It's a Wednesday. We're going to have some fun. We're going to talk about what Greer said on Third Phase of Moon. This is not a bashing show. This is an important look at what Greer said. And if it's true, I would be petrified to be a whistleblower. This might be the most important show we've done all year. And it has to do with Greer and Third Phase. And I'm proud of that. I think, whatever you say about Greer and Third Phase, who gives a shit? It's about what they're doing now. And whether you believe it or not, that's a shame if you don't even give it a chance. Right? Because what else do we got? At least Greer brought us whistleblowers. 40? 100? What, 1,000? Back in 01? And since then, the guy's been frickin' spending his own dime. Whether you like that he makes money in this field or not, doesn't matter. Who cares? Get it out of your system because it doesn't matter. Because if what Greer said is true, and I'm going to play it, we're not waiting. I'm going right to it. I got Jeff Willis joining me in the second half of tonight's show, so we got to get right on this. I got about 45 minutes to go over this Greer stuff. And I need every minute of it. So with that being said, buckle up, because it is going to be a very, very, very frustrating episode for some of you. And you have to just take it for what it is. All right? If anybody can prove to me that Greer since the last 10 years has done anything other than the weird anomalies that he thinks is the alien Bushu. Forget that stuff, man. Just forget it. I'm asking you to try. Because I did. I'm forgetting everything except for what Greer really is all about. And a lot of people and myself have bashed him over the years. I don't know if it was the right thing to do. Probably not. But going forward, I'm going to be a little more conscious of what I'm saying about him, Corbell, Elizondo, instead of just flying off the handle and being wrong. Now, having been proven wrong, it's not a good look saying stuff. Now, I've learned this watching the other people like Scambian and others, how they create they create evidence out of thin air to prove I'm a lying hoaxer and all that stuff. Yet he wanted to be friends. Remember? Come over to our side anyway. Come here, hoaxer. Does it make sense? Anyway, let's get to it. I want to welcome everybody who's here. Kelly Lewis, how you doing? Yeah. Oh yeah. Yesterday we didn't do a show, huh? I was sick. Yeah. Yeah. It sucked. I forgot. Yeah, when did that start? Like 12:30? And then it ended at 2:30 a.m. around there. It was awful. But I'm back, so, it was awful, but I recovered very quickly after but anyway, we're here. Look, I'm going to get sick every week. Once a day. Once a week, I mean. It's happening, no matter what. So expect me to miss a day or two here and there. It's going to happen. And I can't help it. Nobody can figure out what's wrong with me yet. And anyway, I don't want to get into that. We got a lot of show to do. Carnundrum, what do you say there, Snap Ahead? How you doing? Cindy Krause, howdy do. Thor Panku, there you are. No, I didn't avoid you yesterday. Did he? Did he ignore me? No. No. I'm glad you're here. Good to see everybody. Dorothy, hi. Chicken Coop Confidential, hi. Welcome to the show. Woo Riders, DG, welcome to. All right. Wow. Lots of Bernie, how you doing? Jammer Travels, how you doing, man? Samoa. Goofoni and Rockstar, how you doing, Chief? Felicity, Hump Day, how do you do? Ah, Dorothy, lookity dooski. It's a twoski. Well, thank you for that continuing support. Thank you so much, Dorothy. Really, you know, thanks. And I saw what you said. You might avoid the chat, you might, but it's not going to be that show. But I want to let you know, thank you for this. And while I see this here, the super chat, I really would like to say that, you know, Goofon does rely on the peoples. I can't speak. You know how to. You know, all the links are in the show description. Super chat, super sticker, PayPal, Cash App. Become a member. Ba-ba-da-ba-da. All right. Thanks again. Thanks, Dorothy. I saw the documentary this morning. Curious. I didn't see Asymmetric Disclosure yet. I was going to get it today, and I forgot. I had a handyman come over. Yeah, so had to get an unclogged sink fixed. I couldn't do it on my own. But I didn't see it. I'll probably see it tomorrow. I'll try to watch it tomorrow, and then I'll talk about it. Hey, Tom. Sky Allen, how is everybody? Thanks for hanging out. If I didn't say your name, doesn't mean I don't love you. It means we got a lot of show to do, so here we go. Greer, according to the title, Bombshell Information, Dr. Greer addresses the accusations against him. I'm going to focus more on the first 10 minutes of what he talks about. And tomorrow I will finish it. This will be two-parter. Why? Because Jeff's going to come on and he's got a couple of sightings and that's going to be kick-ass. So I'm excited for that. And let's pull this up and get going. You guys, this is history. It is. It's fun. I love this stuff. And it's third phase, so I'm a little biased. All right, here we go. I'll be up top. Go. Welcome back. It looks like a great documentary.
Welcome back to Third Phase of Moon. Blake Cousins, along with Dr. Stephen Greer. Asymmetric Disclosure has made its world presence. It's available right now, streaming across the planet. The link is below. We're going to be getting into detail with regards to what's going on with Disclosure as of right now, today.
And I have to play this so you understand why I wanted to talk about it. So I'm playing this interview. It's really good, actually. The whole hour and 16 minutes, I watched every second. It was good. And I don't do that. I usually skip, but I didn't.
Disclosure and the impact it's going to be making on the world as it's being
That's why it's two parts tonight.
Right now by a lot of people. Let me tell you.
Part one tonight.
It's available. So don't forget, Asymmetric Disclosure. Check it out. We're here with Dr. Stephen Greer. We've got a lot of things to discuss today. But first off, Steve, it's good to be with you.
Good to see you. Yeah, it's been a crazy ride the last few months.
Oh, yeah. It's been a while since we last spoke. I saw you that you're in Mexico. You've been traveling across the planet. But, oh, man, exciting times. First thing I want to ask, though, is Asymmetric Disclosure. You kind of dubbed the documentary that name. What's the significance behind the title and what it refers to in the film, Asymmetric Disclosure?
Yeah, well, asymmetric means that it's not coming from the whole initiative for disclosure, which actually began in 1993.
Thanks, Vern,
when I briefed the CIA director for Bill Clinton, has been a citizen-led effort by people who are whistleblowers and intel sources for our organization, the Disclosure Project. So having founded the whole disclosure movement in the 90s, the way this has evolved is we're now at a position where major law enforcement are engaged, some members of Congress and people in the White House. But to really light a fire, let's say, to get this going, and this is true of almost anything that happens on the federal level, There has to be a asymmetric disclosure that comes from whistleblowers who come forward with increasingly definitive evidence and testimony, and preferably hard evidence. So, as many of you know, there was a group that was teed up to do that late last year and early this year, prior to the inauguration of the new administration. And those people were basically diverted and convinced not to do that because they were convinced it would be told it would be catastrophic disclosure and not asymmetric disclosure. So I argue that in fact it has to be asymmetric to start with, because otherwise the status quo is going to prevail. Plus, this corrupt criminal organization that's embedded throughout government will intercept any efforts by the Congress or the Pentagon or the White House, who are well-intended people, and divert them into blind alleys. And
That's exactly what I said. They think they're going to get the information out. They're contacting the right people, someone in the press. They're going to get this story backed up. So they're going to have extra copies. Guess what? The day that happens and they leave their house, guess what? They get intercepted. Yeah, like Greer's telling you. Yeah, it is scary. You want to be a whistleblower? Please think about it. I mean, for ufology. Actually, in any corporation or any business or any conspiracy, if you want to be a whistleblower, you might be putting your life at danger, at risk, and your families. That's Greer talks about that.
Non-productive pursuits, which is what's been going on recently. And this we'll get into a moment, because this is going to also turn into a serious criminal investigation of some people who have been doing this, that we now have directly from a member of Congress to me, where they have been doing things to thwart and disrupt federal investigation, which are major felonies. So I'm going to drop some bombshells on this like you'll never have heard before.
Wow.
Thanks, John.
A criminal investigation. This is something you've been talking about. All these programs have been illegally being operated,
correct,
not under any oversight by the president or Congress. These people that you're going to be dropping names with regards to this criminal action. Should they be worried?
Yes.
Yes.
Definitely. There are multiple criminal investigations already going based on the intel that we've been able to provide to federal investigative authorities. The conclusion is a big point, has been reached, that the operations, some call them legacy ones, have been going on for 70, 80 years, dealing with UAP, UFO, extraterrestrial reverse engineering, have been run illegally and are part of a huge criminal organization. In other words, what's commonly termed in federal criminal law a RICO, racketeering, influence, corrupt organization. That
guys, up to this point, he's not wrong. And what he's about to say next is even more right. So I know you guys, I mean, look, I don't know, man, something happened, but Greer's saying some things here that are really concerning, because I see the danger, and I hope you guys understand. I mean, we're talking about changing the world, not just the United States. It's a world-changing, life-altering, planet-altering secret that we have no idea what it means yet. We have ideas from whistleblowers, but do we trust them? Do you trust Grush? Do you trust Elizondo? Do you trust Fravor? Do you trust those guys? Greer's whistleblowers in 2001 were the best ever. And God willing, I hope he does this again. It's coming from, disclosure would have to come from us. It can't come from the government. That's the point here. We need to do it all together, and we need whistleblowers that have balls, that will face the government and put their lives in danger. Greer get to that, or he'll get to that. It's really interesting what Greer, how Greer says he could actually get them protection. This is amazing. Anyway, if this is all true, it's good, it's bad, it's good. I don't know, but it's very scary in a way.
Has been concluded by some members of Congress that I've spoken to, as well as by federal law enforcement. So this is very serious. The crimes range from murder and targeted killings.
Look, there's no way. See, this is where I gotta say this. There's no way law enforcement's gonna go up against the government about UFOs and the corruption that people looking into the murders of people got allegedly taken out by the government for secrets and whistleblowing, or about to whistleblow, or whatever blow. Man, and I saw in the beginning of the show in the chat room, somebody said, with all these things Greer knows, why is he still alive? That is a good question. Because then you got to think, does that mean he's not telling the truth? Or is it because he would be a martyr? It would be obvious if they took Greer out at this point. I don't think so. I don't know. I worry. I do. I'm worried for the cousin's brother, everybody involved with this guy. I mean, if it's real and he's talking the truth, because look, everything he's saying, we've heard over the years. We've been hearing it since you've been in ufology. You've been hearing about people getting taken out for speaking out. So why is it so hard to believe? Because it's Greer? Come on. He's not stupid. He's now saying things that really, I don't know if they could be I don't know. I don't know if he's putting himself in danger right now. I don't know. You would think, right? Because if he's the guy who's supposed to bring these new whistleblowers out that are going to break open this whole thing with the help of some people in the government, a coordinated offense, right? On disclosure, why wouldn't they just take the head off the snake? If he's that truthful, right? Tomorrow we wake up, imagine Greer, and then, God forbid, I'm just throwing it out. But what if he was in a car accident, or we heard that he died in his home, something bad that ended it all. We would all think it was the government. Oh yeah, I would think so. If it happened tomorrow. But if it doesn't, and it goes on and on and on, and he's around for all these years, it does put into question, why did he make it through all those years? There must have been some sort of deal made back when he turned down the $2 billion. I don't know how you turned down that cheddar. Maybe he didn't. I don't know. All right, let's get back to this. Who's the views? Hey, Jack Dr. Grandpa is strong as hell. Yeah, I guess he's still working out, Greer. Thank you for we round up here for the £2, 2 quid. Thank you. Appreciate that. Hey, Tony, how you doing? Chicken. Oh, I already said that. Thanks, views with a Z.
Kidnapping, abductions, blackmail, bribery.
This is crazy.
Embezzlement of public funds in the billions, if not trillions of dollars, murder, and treason.
This is everything the government.
That's the short list of serious crimes that have been committed by this transnational criminal organization.
That is a huge statement right there. Something like that might get him into trouble if it's slander. But if it's slander, then the government would have to open up their top secret files and tell us the truth about things that he's talking about. And they won't do that because Greer's smart and he's saying things that they know they can't talk about because then they would have to open it up to the public. It's not gonna happen. So Greer's gonna keep on talking. And I hope he doesn't stop. Not here. I mean, forever.
And they are very much...
Do you think Greer is legit? Put a 1 in the chat if you think Greer is a legitimate candidate to help get disclosure. Do you think he's got the moxie to get it started? Vern Dude, what's up, man? Thank you for that $2. Dude, thank you so much. The bear vibes are strong in this one. Yes, they are, Vern Dude. Hey, man, thanks a lot. I appreciate that. A continuing supporter. Very cool, man. Appreciate you hanging out, too. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Vern Dude.
Aware that this is being pursued. The problem is, politics of this are such that pressure can be exerted through blackmail files, which I know who in the federal government have a blackmail file on them.
Oh, my
and
God.
There are. I'm not going to go into it. Law enforcement knows this. And
of course, we don't get to know. Yeah, that's another one of those things that he says that, you don't get any details, right? That's frustrating, but let's just hear what else.
What's in those files, and it's bad. And what that means is that certain key people in both political and non-political positions in the federal government, but in key positions, can be manipulated and can stop any investigations or have it go to full resolution by having these criminal operations ceased and taken down. So we're going to launch effective this week. I'm calling it the Campaign for Disclosure. And we kick it off with this film and another one that we're going to release in the fall. I'm working on with another group. And this is going to be a campaign that will then, we hope, lead to enough pressure to get this resolved, but also to get people to come forward and release what should have been released before January 20th, when the new president was sworn in.
Right.
And that is a big collection, a cache of evidence and hard proof of all of this that they are in possession of, but were persuaded to hold it back. Mm-hmm. All right. So I think that the only way this is going to get resolved is asymmetric disclosure, which means a group of concerned citizens on the right side of the law and on the right side of history, to be blunt, moving and bringing this out that then forces the issue in front of the Congress and the White House and law enforcement, literally at the level of the Attorney General and the Department of Justice, where it cannot be swept under the carpet anymore. I don't think that, knowing what I know, and I can only talk about a little bit of it, being on the inside of all those efforts, that there is a big risk of it being diverted off into a dead end. And the only way that's not going to happen is that it squarely gets put out into the public, and that's going to take some very courageous whistleblowers, not just with testimony, but with the hard evidence. And I mean schematics, documents, proof, images, video, reverse engineering material, all that. Now, we're talking to people like that. But
weren't you talking to people like that 30 years ago? You know what I mean? Weren't you getting those people ready? Where have they been? All these years you've been saying, yeah, we got this, we can build an arm from scratch, all that. It's not his fault, though. Greer, I think, gets ahead of himself sometimes and is anticipating what he's been told. And I'm not sure if that's true, but I think it is to some extent. And also, he feels that the things that he's going to be talking about are going to happen. And then when they don't, what does he do? Everything gets pushed back. Everything's delayed. We don't have much to go on. So he just said he's got these whistleblowers that are going to bring the evidence, right? Did I hear that correctly? Let's go back a little. Just want to make sure.
Courageous whistleblowers, not just with testimony, but with the hard evidence. And I mean schematics, documents, proof, images, video, reverse engineering material, all that. Now, we're talking to people like that. But of course, we know that wet works or assassinations have been engaged. Luckily, we do know the names of the people in a certain executive level of a section of the CIA, as well as one of the major aerospace companies, of the people responsible for these targeted killings. Those names have been turned over to law enforcement. This is serious.
Man.
And we're talking extrajudicial murders in the United States. So
what kind of evidence do they have? My goodness. If you're making that claim, my God, you better have that evidence. My brother. Police are involved, I guess. This is the first. I mean, this is so weird. It's making some claims here, but this isn't the part I'm talking about. This is just getting started. What he says coming up is amazing. By the way, it's 115 degrees in Phoenix right now. Just a little shout out to Phoenix, my old stomping grounds. Greer, what are you saying, my man?
So these are serious allegations I'm making. I do not make them without having full knowledge of the wherefore and who and how. And so this, however, as atrocious as these crimes are surrounding the whole UAP issue and the secrecy that has evolved around it since the late 50s, frankly, could still all be stopped. Because let's not forget, President Clinton back in the 1990s had Team Red. That was to do exactly what we're doing now after he got all this information from Project Starlight, which is the predecessor to the Disclosure Project that I was head of, and from people who I was working with back then. And it got stopped dead in its tracks. And most of the people involved were either killed or absorbed into this illegal transnational criminal or
absorbed into it, which means they were given ultimatum. Either this happens to you or you work for us and we'll make believe we didn't see you do this and that for a while. Wow. That is just wicked. Views with the Z, another $1.99, $2 we round up here, Goofon. Thank you. In Jordan, we trust. John 3:16. Thank you very much. Thank you, Views, continuing supporter. But this is amazing to me. I was going to say something else I forgot, but here we go.
Organization, what I call the TNCO, that is this global operation running these covert programs, not just here, but abroad. So this is a global criminal investigation. And as a RICO, a racketeering influence corrupt organization, you can look up the RICO Act from the early 1970s. It was set up to take down the mafia, but it's used in other things.
But you know what Greer's saying? Basically, what he's saying is we have enough evidence and we're working with police. If I'm wrong, please tell me. And we have the whistleblowers with the hard evidence, right? The material, reverse engineered material, he said. The hard stuff, schematics, whatever that is, all that stuff. So that's the hard, and nothing flying. He didn't mention any craft. He didn't say that, Greer did. No. He just talked about documents and reverse engineered material. What does that mean? Well, I don't think that's the point at this point. The point is to get the movement started. But if I was the whistleblower, with the evidence he's saying they have, that's not enough to put your life on the line. I wouldn't do it. Please don't do it. It's not worth it. What's in it for these people? What's in it for the whistleblower? Isn't it illegal what they're doing? Treasonous? Oh yeah, maybe that's why they were taken out. Maybe that's why all these people lost their lives, because they talked. Maybe they didn't talk at work, but maybe they talked to their neighbors. I'm working on this project. I can't really talk about it, but let's just say it's about aliens. That's all it takes. Maybe that's what happened, Greer. Maybe they talked. Maybe they were being listened to. Right? Maybe. I don't know. What would be interesting to research if I had the unlimited resources at my fingertips, all those people that were taken out, I would try to find out if their neighbors were also mysteriously missing, dead, or whatever. Because that would be interesting. Because if they're telling their friends, it could be the neighbors. They know, the government knows if you're working in with UFOs, if you're working around it, if you're in it working, you're going to be listened to and watched. I'm telling you, people are stupid. Just shut up, go to work your 9 to 5, 8 to 4, whatever it is. Have your lunch, go home happy.
God. Where there's a larger corrupt criminal conspiracy that is of particular interest to the federal government. So that's what needs to happen. It is what's beginning to happen. But what we as citizens have to do, because I have no official standing in the government at all. I'm a complete, proud to say, outsider, contrary to popular belief amongst idiot UFO conspiracy circles. And the people are going to have to weigh in on this. But the way we do it is that we keep this pressure going in the media, with the films, with the podcasts, with information coming out, but also requesting these sort of whistleblowers with evidence to come forward now, because I can connect them directly to the federal law enforcement officials that can give them protection and immunity from prosecution and secure those secrets and that evidence. We have that in place right now as I'm speaking. So that's why this asymmetric disclosure is really about doing this from outside the bureaucracy of government, but where I have contacts into I call them the white hats, the good guys in government and law enforcement and military and special forces who really want to see this resolved. They are completely 100% on the side of disclosure. So we need to move forward, and that's why asymmetric disclosure, meaning it coming from outside the normal channels in government, is so important. I don't think it'll happen without it being asymmetric.
Well,
it's interesting. Carnundrum says here that people talking with Greer, wouldn't they wind up being unalived or missing? That is an interesting thought. Why didn't I think of that? So what you're saying, Carnundrum, is if Greer's telling the truth and these people need protection and he can give it to them, wouldn't they already be in trouble by talking to him? Well, not yet. I don't know. You would think so. You would think. Oh, yeah, I heard that Mr. Swarthouse talked with Greer. Let's go put a tap on his phones, his cell phone, his wife's, all that. They would. Good stuff, man. I don't know what to say about that, Carnundrum. It doesn't make sense, and if it doesn't make sense, it's usually not true. This is what bothers me about this whole thing. Because Greer is making it really scary sounding. Because it is. And these whistleblowers don't know how dangerous it is until somebody tells them, look, you could, and your family could be, you sure you want to go through with this? Yes, you said you could keep us protected. No, you got to lose the accent. No, I'm kidding. I don't know why I started it. But here we go. Let's finish this off because Jeff Willis is coming on in about 20.
It's amazing that the front line, it's so dangerous. Disclosure is dangerous. And the wet works programs and the missing people, or the murder side, as you call it. Let's just look at one clip from asymmetric disclosure. Again, it's available right now. The link is below. We actually dropped the price more than half, and it's for rental right now. So you guys go out and watch it. Let's take a look at this clip when you talk about the dangers of disclosure. Watch this.
This whole subject, UFOs, ETs, that's not the big issue. It's the technology. It's a science and technology story, because you're talking about bringing out science, technology, information that would alter the world forever in a very good way, but it would terminate $1,000 trillion worth of assets: corporate, oil, gas, coal, jet engines, rockets, car engines. All of it's obsolete. So for that, people are killed for a lot less than that. So that's the big problem. And these inventors, just don't understand that. Now, the CIA director understood, but he still wanted to play the, spy versus spy game. The mistake he made was not setting up a system so that if anything happened to him, that technology on all of it would hit the internet and hit the public. If you disappear, you're the tree that fell in the woods nobody ever heard about. It's a problem. And what good does that do? He lost his life and the technology didn't get out. So,
who coined the dead man's trigger
me.
phrase? That was yours?
Mm-hmm.
And how many people are in your connection of circles? If something were to happen to you and you release this information, how many people?
All right, we're back with Dr. Stephen Greer. That's a quick clip from Asymmetric Disclosure. We're going to be sharing more clips in this podcast. And when you support and watch this, it supports disclosure and the efforts that Dr. Stephen Greer is going through. Let me tell you, it's not easy getting to the information and bringing forth the names. It's interesting. Just I think it was last night, Russ Coulthart, he now agrees with you. The Tic Tac is made by Lockheed Skunk Works. You discussed this in the documentary about these black budget programs working with exotic technology. What do you make of this kind of transition of Russ's statements now aligning with your thoughts on the Tic Tac?
Well, look, there are everyone's entitled to their own opinion, not their own set of facts. I'm quoting Senator Patrick Daniel Moynihan from New York from back in the 70s and 80s. I possess the facts. For the most part, people have opinions. And I'm not trying to be difficult. I'm just saying, when I said in 2017, 18, that is a Lockheed device, I knew for a fact it was from sources who are in the system and where we have documented. If you look at we have a very interesting book that we just released.
Wait a minute. You know what I was thinking about when they said those are Lockheed Martin, the Tic Tacs? Remember Ryan Graves? Remember what he said? That we saw in 2019. We saw these every day for almost 2 years. Every day? And he would also say that we would see them, 20 or so of them in the distance, just watching us. So it seemed. And then every now and then, they would be here and there. And I'm like, and they're saying Dr. Greer's about to say Lockheed Martin was testing their technology up against ours. Without telling. This is what I said. Everybody said this. This is what, if it's not China and it's not aliens, then it's our guys, black budget programs. I don't know if it's Lockheed. Maybe it is. But let's say it is. So they had 20 of them just all sitting out over there watching them and for 2 years. They played chicken with the F-18s or whatever, 19s, whatever they have now or then, right? Playing chicken. Not really, but, and then Greer doing his little loop-de-loo thing, right? It was under the water, oh, blah, 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 blah. Where do they come from? They must have had out of the ocean, and now it's Lockheed. Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah. Because we were all saying that. Yeah, they're testing it against their own to see how we would react without telling the Navy, the Army, or whatever, the frig, that it's us. Yeah, I said that. I even made a little thing. I said, yeah, today let's go out. Remember, I made a little story. I said, yeah, we're going to go mess around with those guys doing their, we'll do this, we'll do that, we'll scare them, we'll head right at them, we'll turn left, we'll turn right, we'll stop on a dime. And guess what? They won't get a picture of us. Come on, man. There's pictures. Lockheed's got them. This is amazing. Well, listen to what Greer says here.
I did with Michael Schratt, and this book has the Tic Tac cases all the way back to 1960s where this was operational. 60s. Everyone should get this from drstevengreer.com. It's available, and it's paperback and hardback, and it's an illustrated book of all these crash retrievals in major cases, right?
A legend.
So, the other thing, and if you can hand me this, Raven, the briefing document for the president is also available. Now, some of it's redacted, but the briefing document is also available at our site, and it has all the key information that's been given to the Oversight Committee, Senate Intelligence and Armed Services, as well as the House Oversight and the White House personnel. Very senior people, and that's available to everyone to read. Now it's about 350 pages. Obviously, most people in an executive level aren't going to read all of that, but we've also done a very short summary at the beginning of it. So that whole document, for the first time, we made available to the public, and it makes a great compendium to asymmetric disclosure because it has everything in it. Now, we all know it's very politically incorrect to read, and nobody reads anymore. But if you are someone who likes to read, there's everything you want to know in there, including the list of the 150 some black sites and the key ones that have been used where covert operations and where aerospace manufacturing plants are located. It has everything in there that anyone would really want to know. The only thing that's been redacted from what was actually provided to the White House and key oversight committees was the list of names that are people who don't want to be known publicly, but are willing to be intel sources and whistleblowers privately. So I make a distinction between the relatively small 10% or so of whistleblowers who are willing to stick their necks out and be known publicly versus the ones who have come forward and whose backgrounds we've checked and want to give information. Those names are unredacted in the full briefing document. But obviously, and when people say, please keep my name private, I do. And this is what this looks like. It's available in hardback or paperback, and everyone should get this. It's a great read and compendium to the film, in my opinion, and really should be looked at together.
Both all the information that's being put forth in this podcast right now. Absolutely. I urge everybody to read, to watch.
Yeah, Tom, that is interesting. I've often wondered that myself because I've heard other people say some very similar things, like in obscure chats and podcasts. And then it's like, maybe they're on the same level. Maybe they have the same info from the same people, but the odds of that are, very low. So it is interesting who's getting the narrative from who. Is Greer making it? Is he making it up? If you go by Greer, and I tell you this again, I said at the beginning of the program, forget the CE5 stuff and let's just focus on disclosure for a minute. And I understand, Tom, I don't know if he's, slimy a scumbag as people think, because people don't like Greer because of all of a sudden, people used to love Greer. They used to love and adore him. He was, oh God, you couldn't wait to hear him. Couldn't wait. And then CE5 comes out, and then he's, now he's grifter, he's a hoaxer, he's a liar. All of a sudden, everything switched, and I don't like that. But I said some things over the years because there's a lot of things he makes claims that are almost impossible that you'll ever find out. So people get on him for that, but everybody does it. And I know the answer. I know what you're going to say. Yeah, everybody grifting does it. I knew it. I knew you guys would say that. But it's not true. Everybody's just trying to be the best and sound like they know the most and hope you believe them. And how do we research what Greer's saying? Is it easy to do? Is there a way we can do that? I don't know. I'm asking. He's got a lot of private information. I don't know how we're going to get his whistleblower names unless you ask him. How are you going to find out? He's a private citizen. So it's easy for him to make up the narrative. He wants us to believe what he believes. See, I think Greer is thinking, what makes the most sense from everything I've learned? This is what he's saying. What makes the most sense to me from everything I've learned, heard, and created out of my own thoughts? What is going on? What is going on, Greer, is that you have a lot of people making a lot of claims who do not bring the hard evidence. So guess what he said? The whistleblower, he's got in the wings, waiting to get the approval, waiting to vet. I don't know what we're waiting for. Probably the next documentary. There you go. And he'll come out and he'll whistleblow and then, oh yeah, I had the material, but I was convinced not to show it. If that happens, we're never going to see anything. We're not. Greer's not going to have a whistleblower with any, I guarantee it. I'm going to bet my life on it. Devil, are you hearing me? It's me. Put my life on the line for evidence by Greer. Thank you. No. We'll give it a 2-year window. Thank you. See you later. Yeah, I'll be there. I'll see you later. It's hot out, isn't it? We got Jeff's already waiting in the wings. We got a few minutes to finish up here. Let me play this and we'll get to Jeff and his sightings and see what else is going on at 115 degrees Phoenix, Arizona.
To digest because the information, it's so mind-blowing. You really got to study and take your time to wrap your mind about how big this is all.
Huge story.
It's the biggest story of mankind. This is what was kind of interesting in the documentary, and it plays out in real time where you're talking about the false flag invasion and this effort to scare the public. And it would be this kind of look of, E.T. And right after you said that, within a week or so of filming the documentary, and we showcase it within a week of your statement, you bring forth basically fortune telling because a drone thing happened in New Jersey while all this was going on. Explain to me, some people, Russ is saying it's from China. You were saying that this is all an inside job, but again, it's not an individual country. This is transnational. Can you go into a little bit more detail about what happened over New Jersey in the United States?
Yeah, well, that entire episode was because the group that was going to defect with all the asymmetric disclosure evidence that were convinced not to. That was done as a false flag and a testing of media, but also as a diversion, a panic-inducing diversion in advance of that. Remember, that was all going on November, December. The plan was prior to January 20th to release all of that, and that got diverted and put into a blind alley, a dead end, which we were not happy with. Law enforcement nor I were happy with that, but that's what happened. Now, I think that what you need to really understand about that is that all of them were man-made. They were from various places. And when you start talking about a transnational organization with these assets, it means it goes beyond international geopolitical boundaries. So I've always said when I go into a skiff or a meeting with people up on the Hill or anywhere else, I go look at here's a picture of the Earth. And there are the political lines between Russia and China or US and Canada. Erase them. This organization operates with alacrity and freedom across all those boundaries. So to say that they're from China or they're from a covert sell within the United States, it's treasonous, or from Russia, or from United Kingdom, or it's an irrelevant distinction. It's a distinction without any significance, which is something our political leaders have yet to grasp, frankly.
Wait, how? How can he say? Wait, what did he just? No. I don't like what he's saying. I want to replay it just to make sure I heard that right.
Russia or from.
He's saying if you remove the boundaries, the boundary lines, like on a map, you see the dividing of countries. He's saying it doesn't matter where they come from, and then I forget. Let's hear it.
Operates with alacrity and freedom across all those boundaries. So to say that they're from China or they're from a covert cell within the United States, it's treasonous, or from Russia or from United Kingdom, or it's an irrelevant distinction. It's a distinction without any significance, which is something our political leaders have yet to grasp, frankly, because this organization simply doesn't recognize the authority of any national government, including that of the United States and the president and the Congress.
Is he talking about aliens? I thought he said they weren't. I'm a little confused. Is he talking about aliens? Or is he talking about the black budget programs not caring where they fly? Because it wouldn't be China. It's not Russia. It's not America, because it would be treasonous. I'm a little confused. And this is what happens. You know, you hear this stuff and you're like, wait, what?
Russia or from United Kingdom, or it's an irrelevant distinction. It's a distinction without any significance.
No, that is extremely. I disagree. We'll come back to this tomorrow, because we're going to leave it here. It gets actually a little crazier after this. I thought we were going to hit it by now, but we didn't. I knew this was going to be 2 episodes to go over. So that's a good place to stop it until tomorrow. Wow, that is just absolutely confusing. I'm going to have to re-listen to that portion again. Irrelevant. I don't know what he means. Is it irrelevant because there's no maps there's no lines on the earth that they could see that, but what does it matter? It doesn't mean it's China or Russia. It sounds like he's talking about, all right, I'm done. I can't think. I can't. It hurts. It hurts. Jeff's going to help out, though. Jeff Willis, been a ufologist, UFO researcher, TV guy. He's been on Bell. He's been on everything you've ever seen. Probably one of the most prolific UFO researchers on the planet. Yeah, no, that's true. After me. No, I'm kidding. Actually, he's got twice as much stuff. He's been doing it for 40 plus, probably his whole life. But Jeff's right here, right now. What is up, Jeff Willis? How you doing, Skywatcher? Can't hear you. Oh, that's my fault. There you go. My bad.
All right. You can hear me now? All right.
Yeah. Thanks for coming on, man. How you been?
Man. It is hot as heck, man. It's like 119, and it was like 120 like a half hour ago.
Wow.
And it is baking, man. I got the air conditioning blasting, and it's still like not working, man.
You know what's weird?
Crazy.
People
it's
told
like 80
me
in the house. It's like, or 88 in the house.
Wow.
It off, man.
That's nuts, dude.
Go ahead. You were saying?
Yeah, well, you know, I lived in Arizona 43 years. The summers are brutal. I come to Florida 4 years ago. Everybody's like, you're going to die out here. The humidity's going to kill you. It's 93, 95. And I'm standing outside. I'm sweating, but I don't feel like I'm going to pass out. I'm out there. Everybody else is. I'm like, this is nothing. It's the temperature that matters. The 115, 120. People don't understand that who are here in Florida where it's 95 with 90% humidity.
Yeah,
I'll take that all day.
Yeah, people always say Arizona's a dry heat, but the reason why they say that is because there's not as much humidity, but it's more brutal, really.
You don't sweat. It sneaks up on you because you don't realize it.
It's like, brutal. It's like it's like a solar flare outside when you walk outside. It's like walking into a solar flare, basically. When you open up your door, it's like a blast furnace
Yes.
of
It's like your oven. It's like your oven.
like a kiln, like opening the door of a kiln and shit.
People
It's
don't get
freaking-
that. I walk
it-
outside here, it's just like walking in the moisture. I don't feel the
Yeah.
heat like people say, but Arizona
it's
blows
nuts.
it. Arizona's ridiculous.
I kind of caught what I know what Greer was trying to explain. What he was
Oh
saying
yeah,
was
what was he
when-
saying? Thank you.
What he was saying is when you sit down with all the leaders of the world to talk about UFOs, he says that basically it's hard for you to get the point across to all of them that the UFOs have free range. They don't care about borders. They go underwater, over borders, into space, and these people can't get that through their head, and they're thinking, could it be the Russians? Could it be the Chinese? Could it
Thank
be the
you.
You know,
That makes
and
sense.
so basically, that's what he's trying to say. But the thing about him that he should have stuck to it. What he should have, you know, where he went wrong. I'll tell you where he went wrong. Because I'll tell you.
Alright.
Hey, this is coming from me, man. I'm telling
Alright.
you, dude. I'll tell you where his career went wrong, dude. A long time ago. Remember when he was on like sightings and he was like with those groups filming like UFOs
Yes.
with video cameras and like doing signals and they would flash back? As
Oh,
soon as he
yeah.
went away from doing that, his career went downhill, and I'll tell you why. Because ever since he went away from doing that, which was the actual real evidence of videotaping flying saucers and alien phenomenon, as soon as he got away from that, he got away from the evidence. He got down the rabbit hole of being the poster child of the cliffhanger of disclosure every year. And the cliffhanger,
Yeah.
and you know why it's the cliffhanger of disclosure?
That's funny, actually.
You know why it's a cliffhanger? Because it'll never happen.
Yeah, I know. You can
Like
make a claim.
episode, you can keep going. Episode 1 to 1,000,000 and plus on when is disclosure, and what is the next? The next episode is what we got now on disclosure. It's this guy says this guy says that, this guy says that, and it's like you said, there's no evidence. You need to stick with the evidence, man. That was so great. Back in the day, he was actually gathering evidence. Now he's gathering hearsay and cliffhanger evidence.
I didn't know that he was actually. Well, I know that
Well,
he
it
did
was
it
on
with
site.
CE5.
Well, that's the first time I ever learned about him.
Wow.
Is on the episode of Sightings
I remember that.
when they were featuring a guy that gets groups together and signals for UFOs, and they
Yes.
show up and they get video of it.
That's
now
the
with the- what-
CE5. Yeah, that's when he went to CE5.
See, that's what I like, but he was getting real evidence from things that were showing up and signaling back, like footage
Wait.
of
No,
UFOs.
dude. He's still doing that stuff.
Well, that's
Y-
what he needs to stick to, because when he goes out there and starts talking about disclosure, it is like a never-ending story, man, and it just
I
puts
know.
people to sleep, man. That's not going to happen unless Trump comes up on the podium and says, "Hey, the Pentagon hid this. Here it is."
Never
That's
happened.
what disclosure. Yeah, then it's not going to happen. It's crap. And the other thing is if the Pentagon, like, what we need to really, if you really want disclosure, that's not going to come from. Well, it would only have to come from the president, number one. But if you wanted to have,
Why? Wait, why?
well, because you would have, because there would have to be another way. The only other way would be a ambassador of the citizens of Earth to be able to, that person that they nominate to be the ambassador of the citizens of Earth would have to have free range to walk around in any top secret government faculty like Area 51, the Pentagon,
Right.
and go through every corner, every
Of the world?
of all the governments of the world, all the
That'd
nooks
be
and crannies
cool.
of all the nooks and crannies of every secret base, everything to know the
Yeah.
truth. And
It
you
never
would have to-
happened.
yeah, so there's no way. So you would only have to have it from the top official, like a president, not necessarily the United States president. It could
Right.
be another president from another country coming forward with evidence, with which would have to be the actual UFO flying up and down, or a dead alien. Like, well, those Mexico did that with the dead aliens. But hey, it doesn't cut the mustard, man. You have to have the thing alive, dude.
You just
It
said
has
it.
to be alive. Dude.
No, Well, and the UFO has to fly. That
No,
sphere
UFO
they
has to
got,
come up and down and fly, and you have
right?
to have an alien standing there, or
Yeah.
just the alien, or you have to have the alien standing there with like
Yeah.
medics and doctors, like with like all
Yeah.
kinds of probes on them, saying, "Yeah, this dude's not from here," or whatever. It's not going to happen unless that happens that way. Or if you have a UFO, or if you have a huge UFO, let's say like an asteroid-sized UFO crash into like Los Angeles, and it's like sticking out of the side of the ground, and there's like media and videotaping on this, something like that. There's no other way. There's no other way. Or like how 9/11 happened, like an event, like a UFO event, and not a false flag, an event where like people are like millions of people are like standing around this thing, like with their cameras, phones. Yeah, this thing just crashed. Yeah, it happened.
Yeah, like when King Kong fell off the Twin Towers and laid on the
Yeah,
ground.
that's it. That's it.
Same thing. We got to see it up close and personal.
So I'm all hyped up.
But what about asymmetric disclosure, though? That's what Greer's saying we need to happen.
Asymmetric is basically
it's the government with the people and
that's basically what
citizens together.
That's what I was kind of going with, the ambassador of whatever country you can pick, or an ambassador for each country, to be able to have free range on all the secret information and all this. See, it's like Trump set up a cabinet with these people that are supposed to go into the Pentagon and like get information and release it to the public. Well, that's stupid. You are the president. You should like order the Pentagon to release this shit, or we're going to send someone in to release it for your freaking ass, like the Marines. Okay. You need to get serious. If you're going to get serious about UFOs, you need a president that is serious about UFOs. And I'm saying raid the Pentagon with the Marine Corps. If you're going to release the information and that's the only way to do it, we're going to do it like that. It has to be from within,
No president in the United States will do it.
Well, Trump has no passion to it because he probably thinks that if it is aliens, or they probably gave him a briefing and said, yeah, there's stuff flying around. We don't know what it is, but here's some videos of the best, like even the Pentagon admits, like we got a certain tiny percent of videos that we can't explain, and there's no way to explain it. So maybe they show him these videos and he like looks at them and says, gee, that's pretty obvious that there's something up there monitoring us, for all these years. And then they're like, he knows it's real. So what he thinks in his head is like, crap, maybe I should just not say nothing about this. And I only have like 4 years, so let's just not do it, And even if I do, if I'm like questions about it by media or other people, I'll just say, yeah, we have some unexplained videos. We don't know what they are, and just keep it at that.
Pretty much, we already know
that's pretty much what happens anyways.
Yeah.
That's what happens anyway.
Tom here says, if the government have UFOs and they're still trying to figure out how shit works, do you really think they're going to show the public? They want to know what everything does. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
But it won't happen. It won't happen with the president here.
Because that's the other side of it, military advancement. They use that for the dissect whatever craft or whatever metals or whatever information or hard evidence they have. They use it to their advantage to create hybrid technology or back engineered technology where they can use the best of what they have on Earth to duplicate this thing and try to come up with the best stuff on Earth to try to do their best version of what this exotic thing can do, and so they don't even have. Yeah, so they don't even understand how it works. So
we talked about this. That's like saying go back 150 years with an iPhone. Say, can you make this?
And they won't be able to. Exactly.
Impossible.
It's impossible. Even with the best of their people, their best brains together. They don't have number one. They don't have the manufacturing facilities. They don't have technology to mine the elements.
Satellites.
There is so many factors and so many elements to this that there's no way they can do it in that time frame. I mean, they just can't. So it's basically you work with what you have. So we're not there yet. And so you think these aliens are going to show up and introduce themselves to people that aren't even to their level and won't be for like several million years? No, they're not going to do that. They're going to dominate their airspace. Okay. And there's not a damn thing you can do about it. You can talk about it through all the governments you want. They're going to dominate, You're never going to know who they are. They're not going to land, and it's probably happened with several different civilizations because we're looked down upon as a civilization that just is not there. So,
Hey,
yeah,
when we didn't have the technology to do anything, couldn't fly, couldn't get off the planet, didn't have nuclear weapons, yeah, they would come down and Ezekiel, we've heard those stories, right? They came down in those days and talked to the people of the earth because they didn't have weapons to shoot them with. They didn't
yeah,
have
and
anything.
well, yeah, and I mean the reports I mean, on those UFO documentaries, always talk about that when the first atomic bombs were detonated, they show up
Yeah, yeah,
because
because what happened, it went through the dimensions and it created this like signal, like
like a
everybody knew
ripple
some.
effect.
Yeah,
Yeah,
ripple effect.
yeah,
Thank you.
yeah. They like knew that we were atomic at that point,
I don't know if
and that
that's
was
true.
I don't know either, but they said that at those years that the sightings that really increased those years, and
I
they just
know.
kept increasing after. So
It makes you
the book
wonder if they're underground though. And we took and they heard the boom
they
booms
probably
going
are.
off.
I'm sure there are. I mean, they've been here as long as we have. Then they have bases on everywhere.
Longer.
Underwater, underground, and the moon, like all the
I
different planets, probably under the
North, south.
ground.
Yeah, I think
Pole,
they
north,
have.
south pole. You know.
Don't
So
you think it's like in the movies, like the movie The Thing? It could have just landed and then maybe ice melted and it came out and then it somehow created more of itself and they went underground, created their
yeah, I mean,
technology and
anything's
started.
possible.
I don't
Anything's
know.
possible.
I think if there's aliens here, they would have to have the technology to get here instantly. Because I don't think
Oh yeah,
anybody,
it could.
unless they could live 1,000 years
Well,
and
see,
go
that's the
from A to
thing.
B.
Okay, so this is the idea that I had. Okay, so like, how we use energy to conduct different activities and like use it for different purposes.
Yeah, yeah,
I
sure.
mean, we use energy for like to fly planes, to like
Yep.
power electricity, like all kinds of stuff, right?
Oh yeah, yeah.
And so we're only basically like a kindergartner with energy. Like they use
Oh
energy
yeah.
to get here from here to there. Like you're saying, they have different methods they use it for because they're like they're smarter. They know what they know the purpose of all that energy
I
has to
bet.
offer. You know what
I
I'm
would.
saying? So
Yeah,
if like, of course, if you're like, we're advancing every 100 years, right, in our
a
technology.
lot. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like it's civilizations like a few million years more advanced than us. Then they have just the knowledge behind how to use energy and harness energy in itself. Not That's not including all the other technological advances that they have up on us, over those many years. So there's a lot. There's many. Uh, there's so many aspects that it's
We
there.
went, but we went from riding horses. Then in 1908, when that was when the first plane I
Yeah,
think went up in the sky. And then we've been on the same technology since then. We had the industrial wave in the
yeah.
20s and 30s, and then after World War II, the whole country was happy and everything grew. And now we're wow. I don't know
Well,
what's going to happen now,
I'll
but
tell you
things
what's
are
going to happen
weird.
now.
But
I'll tell you
well,
what's going
wait.
to happen
Well,
next.
hold on. I was
Oh
going to
yeah, go.
say the thing is, we went from like 1890 to 1945, give or take. We went through the industrial thing, and then now we're in the technological age, I think, right? And then
Yeah.
what's after this is where we're quantum level. But you say
I know how we're going to get to the next level. Okay, so AI is advancing, right?
Yeah.
AI eventually they say is going to be smarter than any. They say one AI machine will be smarter than all the humans in the world put together. Like all the brains of the entire people in the whole planet put together, the AI will be smarter than that. So once that happens, we are going to be using a tool that will be able to push us to the next level of not only technology, but how to harness that energy. because this AI source will be so smart it'll be tapping into stuff that we don't know about. We'll be asking it questions, will be throwing us mathematical mathematical formulas that if we follow it, it will take us to the stars and beyond. So
Right.
and harness energy and all this other stuff. So just think where we're at. We're at the babyhood of AI right now, and just think how it will explode within and where it will take us within the next, just take like a very small time period, like 50
50
years
years.
or
Yeah.
100 years.
Yeah, give or
So
take. Right. I
now,
believe
and
that.
that could be putting like humanoid. You've seen all these robots that are being designed by Musk and all these other
Oh, yeah.
agencies across the world and
They're
everything.
unreal.
It will be putting these and humanoid androids on Mars, and they will be building colonies for years and years, and then we will be transporting
I guess
humans,
so,
and
yeah.
then we'll be putting people on. We'll be throwing these AI generated robots on all these different planets to build biospheres and all these
Probably, yeah.
landing ports and all these different structures where we can land and come and go and start being able to have a planetary exodus to be able to go wherever we want. And at that point, maybe the aliens will contact us when they see that we're branching out to different planets and different
Maybe,
stars.
yeah.
Maybe they'll finally like introduce themselves. Maybe, or maybe we might run into one that's more at our level, like more like maybe only maybe a couple thousand years more advanced than us, or a couple thousand. Maybe we'll run into those guys. You know,
But
so
many
you never
many
know.
thousands of years ago, we might, you're right, we could, but don't you think thousands of years ago, like with Atlantis and
Hmm.
civilizations like that built Gotepli, Bepi, or whatever the hell that name is, all of these civilizations had a technology that even today we can't mimic what they did, like building those and burying all that in, all that in Gobekli Tepe and all the designs of all the animals. It was like they think it was a record of Noah's Ark and it was buried. That's what they think Gobekli Tepe is, like a
Well,
historical record of all the animals, because that's why some of the animals are weird. But they kind of, this looks like a bird. It's like
yeah.
they had weird animals back then, different.
What I think about different civilizations is some of them could run into. You see how we have here on Earth, we have like all these natural disasters and these
Mm,
plagues and all these different like life's a roller coaster. You never know where the next turn is going to go. A lot of these civilizations may have came to an evolutional dead end. They might have not been able to reproduce or procreate their energy to or
I
their
know. It's
technology.
weird.
They might have died out like a lot of these guys, and there might not be a lot of them left, or they might not be able to advance any farther. They might have been able to go as far as they can,
Right. But
and there
why
might.
wouldn't they still be around, man?
Well, they
Be-
are. We just don't see them. I mean, you ever, because this is the thing. Like, if you had that technology, why would you let people see you? If you have the technology to be invisible and not and go like how UFOs are, how they only show up on radar basically when the UFO wants them to.
Yeah, but
So or
if that was human in there, if you're saying that's human, like an old human from thousands of years ago, you still have there. It's the same person that we are today. They would still have the instinct to want to share the technology with us, maybe, right? Or maybe
uh,
just let us see it closer and confuse us more, play game. But they don't
well,
do
it's weird.
anything
Like the
like that.
aliens, like sometimes like tactics that they're like thousands of years old, like
Oh,
the
that's
beings and
true.
stuff like
Yeah,
that, and
yeah,
stuff like
yeah,
that. So it's weird that
yeah. That
they
is
say
weird.
that, but they're probably true. It's probably real
I
if they say
know.
that, because like, guess what? Like if you have advancements. If you have advancements in all levels and aspects of the universe, then you're going to have advancements to slow your age down and to do different stuff
Oh
with your
man,
body,
true.
and
Yeah, yeah.
especially with AI, you could like talk to AI or whatever. How do I live forever or whatever? It'll tell you
Right.
the formula or whatever, and this is
You
like
never
100
know.
years from now, they'll have it,
Yeah.
or whatever, or they have like a vaccine or I mean, I don't want to ever say vaccines; those
Yeah.
are bad or what. I mean, in my opinion, but hey, you never know. Like one day they'll say, hey, we got a shot now. If you take it, you'll live like an extra 100 years, and so people do it, and they live another 100 years, and it
Well,
works. So
there's
hey, there you are.
technology. They say that AI may make
Mhm.
that be a thing
Yeah,
within 20 years. And they say if we could live 20 years from now, we may be able to live another 50 to 100 years if that, medicine is real or whatever.
Well, that was the whole goal behind medicine, is to
Yep.
like eliminate all diseases and keep
Yeah,
people healthy forever. Like, if we can, our technology can find a way to help people live longer, it will do it. And we have came a long way, of course. But hey, like I said, we're just barely, getting there with the tech age, like you said.
Yeah, we basically doubled our lifespan because, realistically, cavemen only lived to be 30. So 77, 78.
Well,
76.
that could have been BS, because who could go back to
so.
see the caveman and say, "Hey, how old are you?"
No, they could tell by their bones and their teeth.
Yeah, I know, but
there's no but. That's it. But
they could have. They might have found. You don't think that maybe they didn't find like certain bones that were older?
Of course.
Maybe.
Yeah, of course, but
are different parts of the world. It could be different. Who knows?
But
maybe the people in the 30s, those bones, they came from a area of the world where it was like jacked up in those years.
Could have been. Yeah,
like
they could have been giants.
Or cold, or the the seasons.
That's what's amazing about this fucking planet. It's got so many secrets locked away. It's like we'll never know.
Yeah, exactly. We don't know.
The things you catch flying around Phoenix. I know you got a few new things you're going to show us. Do I go to your channel?
Yeah, go to my YouTube channel, and I just wanted to just ask everybody, subscribe and help out the channel if you can when you see it, when you go up there and look for yourself. And so basically where we left off is I videotaped this crazy, whacked out thing. And so ever since that, and we looked at some of the videos I shot before that, but when we got to that one, it was like crazy. So I got a bunch that I put after that, and I have even more that I haven't even uploaded, because I was kind of working on this movie that I'm trying to come out with right now. Because of all this footage, this place where I live right now, I've shot more footage here than I've ever shot anywhere.
Well, what are your major crossroads? Can you tell me?
It's 99th and Peoria.
I used to live over there. No shit. Yeah. I used to live right there. I used to live across the street from the where they have concerts.
Yeah, that's where the Coyote Stadium is, kind of right there. You mean Northern right there?
No, I lived on, anyway, it was close. But I used to see stuff over there before I got into UFOs. That's the weird thing.
Well, I saw this latest video. You'll see on there. We can go to my latest video and roll backwards from there. But I got a fleet of like 8 or 9. Yeah. And as I plan the camera down, I'm going from one to the other, and it's following them in a row.
Okay, I'll be the judge of that. All right, which one is it?
And so you click videos, like scroll.
I'm on here. I'm on there.
Scroll to the top.
Yeah.
There you go. There it is. The first one right there.
This one here?
Yeah, where it says fleet or whatever.
Yeah, I see it. I'm just looking at your titles.
Yeah. Now I have like 5 more videos I got after that, but I got them on my computer. I just haven't uploaded.
Okay,
so there's the first one, and you'll see, as I scroll down with the camera, you're going to see like a bunch of them.
Oh, all right. Whoa.
So there's one.
It's green.
There's one, right?
Right here. Oh, so shit.
Yeah, see 1, 2.
You got another one there.
Oh, there's more than them. Well, watch me follow down. There's 1. Now this is when I step down. 2.
Well, that's a star.
No.
You're passing by stars.
Yeah, those are UFOs. 3.
I can't tell they're moving though, Jeff.
Well, 4. No, they definitely are.
But I can't tell. You're not letting them go
5.
by the stars.
Yeah. When you'll see them all in a second. There's 6.
Okay,
now I've got 6. Now when I zoom out, you'll see them all.
Holy shit! I do. I saw for a second.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They're all 6 of them are passing by the stars. 1,
but
2,
I want to see
5,
that.
6.
I want to see them all.
Okay, go back a little bit, like a step. Go back.
I know, but what I wanted you to do is to get them to all 6 of them. You were so close.
They were when I panned out, like right there. Hit that right there. Now watch. There. See? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
I don't see 6. I see 1.
No, look. Put your Look, you'll see. You'll see. You'll see.
No,
Now watch the pan out. There's
I'm
one,
being critical
two.
because I don't. But
I'll tell you when to pause.
A fleet.
Yeah. Okay. Watch. Just. Okay. Start it over if you want.
That's fine. All right,
Okay.
here
Hit
we
the
go.
one, two.
Here we go. All right. And the one thing I noticed is they seem to be green. What do you?
Night
what
shot.
Oh,
So
that's why. God damn it.
Yeah. So there's 6. Yeah. Sorry, I can't get them without it. So
No,
see,
I know.
you'll
I'm
see it
glad.
passing the star. Now you'll see it passing that star right there.
Yeah, these two.
There it is. Those are UFOs.
Those two. That's it.
And no, there's one under. Watch. There's a first one, right?
No, this one
Look,
here.
That's the top one.
You
That
just,
is the top.
This is
no.
not a. This is
That is
not
a
a
star.
UFO. Yeah,
That is a
that's
star.
right.
That is the UFO. Now watch
That's
them go
right.
down in a row.
Right. So here we go. So this is
One.
one.
Yep.
No,
Now they're right. Now I'm going to
there's
pan
two.
down. There's 2.
Right.
Here comes 3.
Right. But
Down to
I
about
get
3.
no. What I would hope you would have done was, and I don't think you could have, because I don't
pan
think
out at the end. Just keep watching. You'll see. I'll pan out.
I would like to see all of them without moving your camera go by the star. One star, but you don't have that. That's what I'm saying. You only show one or two.
But at the end, I zoom out and you'll see the row of them.
Yeah. No, I saw that. I just, damn it. That's like, it's like if there was another camera guy there.
That happened so fast. So that's 3 right there.
This is great.
And let
what
it roll.
time was this? Like, don't tell me. This was between, hold on, 8:30 and 11.
No, this was actually between 7:30 and 8.
At night?
Yeah.
How can it be? The sun's still
no, you're right. It was between 8:30 and 9, actually.
How did I know that?
How did I know? You're missing you know. See, go back a little bit and you'll see.
No, I saw. These are good.
Now,
this is good.
Now I'm going to
great.
zoom out. Now watch. You'll see a bunch of them when I zoom out.
I know.
And that's like 6 right there. That one right there. 1, 2.
Yeah, I know, but it's very hard. Like if I didn't have you
to figure it out. Yeah, if you didn't have me pointing it out, you would know what was going on.
I would have only seen 2.
You know what? If you watch this like 3 or 4 times, you'll totally get it.
It's tough, yeah, but you did good getting what you got. Right there, I see it going by.
Yeah. Now just watch it till the end here.
You got something. I see 4, 5. Yeah, there's 5.
Yeah, see there? See that? See how it's streaked out like that?
Yeah.
There's 6 actually. If you.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4,
5, and then the 6th one was gone.
1, 2, 3, 4.
But if you count it at the very beginning, you'll see there was 6.
Yeah, you know what's out there. It's hard.
But yeah,
that was cool though.
That was way nuts. And
I've never seen them line up like that. Usually they form like shapes.
You know what? I've seen that like 4 times since I've been out here, but this is the only time I've been able to catch it.
God dang it, man!
Yeah, it's nuts. And then
I bet you I would see it similar if I went outside. I'd see something.
Yeah,
I know. When I go out at 5:30 in the morning, so a lot of times I count like 15 satellites, like just bursting and then moving. It's like they burst out of the atmosphere, like in a Star Wars movie. It's like they just appear. I see a big, huge flash, and then this dot will appear and then start moving. It wasn't moving and then it flashed. It appeared, and people don't understand that they're not all satellites. I think what we're seeing is UFOs and military shit. Yeah. All right, you had another one?
Yeah, the next one on the list is that one. Yeah.
You want to explain it?
Okay, so these are many different, like just the same thing. Is these things will show up and cruise across the sky, and so yeah, just it is what it is. I mean,
okay, that's
really,
easy.
Yeah, it's simple. This one.
But aren't you worried people are just going to say that you're getting satellites, iridium flare satellites?
There's really nothing I can do about that because I know what I'm seeing isn't satellites. And you know what? It was funny you
Hold
just
on.
said
Did you just see that? I want to
that.
show you that this is a genuine UFO, and you don't know yet, but I know a secret you don't know. Hold on, I want to see it happen again. There's a specific flash that happens that I've noticed with legitimate these things being
Oh, they
legitimate.
flash me all the time.
No,
Dude.
not this flashing. There's flashing around the outside, around it. And
Oh,
this one had two of them right here. It looked like eyes. I want to see if it does it like
yeah.
I'm not. Yeah, and I don't think it was the background noise either, because they both appeared very bright, and it should have happened. I'm sorry. See, that's what's weird about those things. It's like,
And the way that they go out, they always like kind of fade away.
yeah, they go around the
And-
curvature of the Earth. I think if that's what I.
But
I
the way
don't
that
know.
but the way that these go out is like you could still kind of see them.
Oh yeah.
You know, when they
what-
blink out, and then they just like sometimes they'll just totally disappear or whatever, or they'll like get real bright and then they'll disappear. So they do weird stuff.
This one, you're a little out of focus on this one.
Yeah, it's getting further away the farther away it is, and I think the atmosphere is the farther it gets, the atmosphere gets away from it.
Not much with that one. See,
Yeah.
now if you post these in like fleets, 2s and 3s, that's interesting.
Yeah,
These single ones, unless they're spinning, you can see them spinning or flashing.
yeah,
These are kind of like hit and miss. It's kind of hard
Yeah.
to convince.
yeah.
people,
Those
but-
one I now yeah. What I like to do is check out that. You could do the next one and see.
Oh, here
They're all that's pretty
three
similar.
UFOs.
Stuff. Is that what it says?
Yeah.
Yeah, check that one out then. Because I posted these a little bit ago, so I still got like 5 on my computer I haven't put in
Yeah.
yet.
I remember those days. I used to try to get everything up.
Oh
right
yeah,
away.
I do remember this one. There's 3 of them actually that show up.
Really?
Yeah, watch. So this one's is starting to fade out, right?
Yeah, right there.
And then
yeah.
out of the corner of my eye, I see another one.
Ah.
And so watch.
Wow.
You'll hear me
wow.
say it. See,
How
I
come
say.
you don't-
See, I just said I see another one. So I turn around and I look at it and zoom in on it. 2 in a row, and then I say 3 in a row, and I get the third one. But now I'm trying to find the second one.
Why
There it
no
is.
time? Why no timestamp?
You know what? When I put the damn video on the computer, there's a timestamp. But then when I put it into the editor, it disappears, and I can't figure out how to. Oh, I could put it on there manually, like by typing it in myself. But yeah, it's jacked. I don't get it. I'll figure it out sooner or later.
You can see it go by a star. What was that?
Yeah. Okay, so that's the second one.
No, the one that flies by right here. What's this?
Oh.
This can't be a star. Watch. There it goes. Wait, it looked like there were 2 of them. Did you notice this?
Well,
Look,
I saw.
there is. There's 2
Yeah.
objects right here.
Well, that
looks-
one was a star. It went by a star, I believe, or
No,
maybe it was another
no.
UFO.
I just showed you that there was 2 objects there. Watch. Watch. You can see the other
Yeah.
one. It's right here. You don't
Yeah.
see that going
I
along
saw
with
it.
this?
I see
I'll
it.
do it again. I'll do it again in slow motion.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got something.
I saw
Here we go,
3 all
frame by
together,
frame.
but I see what you're saying.
No,
now.
yeah, you got this one here, but I think these 2 flew by this one. They weren't standing still as stars.
Yeah.
Is why, unless I'm wrong.
And
but
it's so
they
wild.
Went there, it went by so fast. See there? And here's the other one right here. Watch. And there it is right there. Right
Yeah.
here. I'm right on it. Watch.
Yep.
There it goes.
Yep. You're right. You're right. And so keep
Why I'm-
playing
oh,
it. And
there
you'll-
was a third one right here.
Yep.
You had 3 of them.
Yeah.
Watch.
And
You had a triangle.
I see that.
Look, there's the second one.
Oh,
Here's the
yeah.
third one coming. Hold on. There it is. And there it goes.
I see it. Yeah.
Oh my God, dude. You
And
went
so
by
if
a
you
little
let it-
triangle. Watch.
Yeah.
Let's-
So if you let it play, you'll see a third one come at the end.
Here we go. Oh my God, that's so fast.
Yeah.
Oh, fun. That's what I love about
That's
these.
why,
It's like,
and that's why I know they're not satellites. And so now
well,
I see a
not.
third one.
I don't know what you got, but there's always something weird going on over the Arizona sky. Always.
Okay, now I get the third one.
Oh wow.
There it
that's a
is.
bright
I
one.
got it.
Yeah.
There. So this is the third one.
Oh, maybe it was 2 stars. That went by too. Well, whatever. It was kind of cool.
Did you see that? It went by
Yeah.
that big old star.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Maybe the other 2 weren't.
See, I know that I got 3 good objects, but I don't know what they're passing and all that stuff. I'm just trying to concentrate on the actual of what I get, of what I'm getting. So,
Yeah.
and so
It's
you
tough.
could do the next one too. Yeah, it's hard. Yeah, so it's one of those things. So I put the date at the beginning because there is no timestamp until I can figure out how to make the actual original timestamp stick. So yeah, so I try to put the date.
It should be on your video.
Yeah, I know, but when I put it into the editor and do a rendering of the final thing, because I always want to put my name and my website with the final video, as soon as I put it in the video software, it doesn't show the timestamp on the footage.
That doesn't make any sense. But
it's
got to be in your settings, maybe.
Yeah, it's in my settings. And when I look at the camera and play the video back, the timestamp's right there on the camera. It shows it on the camera on the video.
Yeah,
so I don't know, man. I need someone to come and help me out on all the technical crap.
Well, or you could just say approximately 8 a.m., whatever. You don't have to be exact.
Yeah, I could put the time too, because see, when I'm running the video in the editor, it shows the timestamp and the minutes and time and the hours right there. And so I put this caption there to like signify what it is, because I know it's not going to show up on the final burn, or whatever. So yeah, this is another one, just same thing.
Yeah, these are controversial. I mean, I used to tell my wife is, you really think I'm seeing 15 UFOs every day? Yeah, it's hard to believe, but I mean, you have to record them. You have to.
Yeah, they show up and they're not, and it's not normal to me.
We don't know. But you should use satellite tracker. Maybe make a note of it. This was double checked by satellite tracker.
That's what I need. I need a person with satellite tracker to come over and sit with me as I'm filming these UFOs and tell me.
You just get the app up on your phone. It's free.
Yeah, or whatever. But I mean,
it's a live satellite.
What I'm saying is, I'm getting the UFO. It would be nice to have another person at the same time say, "Yep, that's not a satellite. We're looking right at the thing," or whatever. I need a team. Would be nice to help out. On some. And that was the other thing, is I've reached out to so many different ufologists and different people and telling them they're missing the boat, because these things are coming over my house every single day, like sometimes fleet, sometimes like go back to that one triangle thing, that one right there down, no, scroll down back, the big light down, they're right there. Yeah, do that one. This is what I'm trying to tell these people, that this crap is showing up almost every night, and it's not normal, man.
What is this?
We need some.
Where was this?
This was over my house.
Gosh, I'm glad I'm getting this.
I hate that night vision, man. You know what you got to do is switch back and forth between night vision and regular, so we can make up our own mind on what it is.
Yeah.
I'm just saying it. I wish you would, but I want to see real with my real eyes.
Yeah, I'll have to try to do that.
It's all right. I mean,
but
I don't know what this is. I mean, is it still?
Well, I'm going to tell you something about this. I sent this to a couple I sent this to a couple television producers, and they totally know that this is not anything normal.
Whoa!
And also,
what is this?
That I got to show you this.
But is it still, or is it moving?
It's moving. It's moving upwards. But I want to talk to you about this.
All right.
There is see that thing at the top?
Yeah.
Okay, I did an enhancement of that. A zoom in and enhancement. Now go to my channel where it says posts.
Okay.
On my go back to my channel where
what'd you do?
Well, I put it in my post, a picture of it.
Oh yeah,
Like at the top,
right here.
no, like scroll all the way up to the channel where you can click on the buttons to the different, like go all the way up. See where it says posts under, like, where it says videos, uh, right at the top under my picture where it says videos, posts,
Where?
like you see where my icon is, where my avatar is, the list where it says
Yeah,
home, videos. Yeah,
yeah.
click posts.
All right, hold
Posts.
on a sec. Hold
Like,
on.
where's your mouse at? I don't even see it.
No, because I'm doing something else.
Oh, okay.
I said, hold on a sec. I'm looking for something. What's today's date? The 7/9.
It's a 9. Yeah, 7/9. Yeah.
I took a screenshot of it, and I was gonna blow it up, and I don't know what happened. Why I can't
Oh,
find it? Yeah, because I can do that. I took a picture of it.
oh.
Well, now it froze. Oh, this is bizarre. Hold on, one more. Let me try this. I don't understand why. Oh, here it is. I got it. All right, let's blow this up. And then we'll look at yours too. I just want to see if this'll. I thought I would be able to get it up pretty quick, but here we go. So
Okay.
this is what.
Okay. Well, let me explain to you something. What I did is I waited on the video where it shows the zoom in of that at its bestest point.
Oh, okay.
And then I took a square capture of it and blew it up.
All
And
right.
what I see
Tell
is
me where it is again.
okay, go back to my
I'm
channel.
here already. Yeah, I'm there.
Okay, where it says posts under my where it says, yeah,
Got
right
it.
there.
Yep.
Okay, now scroll down the next post right there.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
Now, what I think it is, like, okay, to me, I think it looks like the head of a freaking alien sticking its head out the window, or in the window of the UFO. I think it's the face of an alien. There's the neck and the eyes on the head. I don't know what this thing is, to be honest with you, but it could be the whole body of it. I don't know, but to me, I'm seeing a reptilian being, the
That's a
head and the eyes,
I
and
see what you're saying,
it's
but
it's a
dude,
stretch, but I'm
but
telling you, dude, there is
y-
weird crap happening all the time here. And I had so much video footage here and all these weird events happening that I'm starting to make a video of a DVD of a new movie coming out that's going to feature all these bizarre things. And
this is
it's crazy.
strange because it does look like it's got a mouth and two eyes on the one I did, and even this tail. This
Yeah.
is I don't know. I don't
And on
know.
my enhancement, that could be the whole head. The whole part of that could be
It
just the
could
head.
be. It could be anything. It could just
Yeah,
be
that's
a
what I'm saying. I could
reflection.
be anything, but you know what? When I zoomed in and seen that reptilian face like that, I was like, "What in the world is going on?"
You mean like this is the eye right here, and then down
Yeah,
here's the mouth? Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Like those are the
Yeah.
two eyes, and then you see the
Yeah.
chin.
Here's
Like
the
the
other
whole,
eye right
yeah,
there, and here's the
the
chin.
and its neck is going cocked to
Yeah. Oh
the side
yeah.
a little bit, like he's looking down at me,
Yeah.
like
Here's
who's
the
this guy down?
mouth. You can
He's
see
looking
the
down like,
slit.
here's this guy again that's always with the camera down there or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, that's a great imagination to think that would
Yeah,
be happening. But
yeah, exactly. But
maybe they put it in your head to think that's what it is, to let
yeah,
you
but you
know
know,
this is what you're seeing.
but this is the weirdest thing about it. Is that I've been videotaping for like a year now here. And when I started videotaping here, I started to shoot B-roll footage and UFO footage for a new movie I'm coming out with called Finding Aliens. And then this thing shows up. And so now I got 5 more videos, and I have a total of probably 50 videos from the last year. And I'm editing this thing out now. I haven't started yet, but I've got enough video to make this movie now. And what I'm going to do is maybe more stuff will show up. Maybe I'll get more evidence before the end of the final cut. But I'm gonna talk about the interviews that I'm gonna put in this thing. This is the thing, on all of my DVDs, I don't really talk too much about personal experiences or like really what's been on my, like, I don't know. I kind of talk about what's on my mind a little bit here or whatever, but I don't really dive deep into it. But this time I'm
Right.
gonna. I mean, I got to tell it how it is, man. This time, because
Well,
like there's some shit that happened to me my whole life that has been like, I've been kind of starting to realize that that certain people are picked for this.
right. No, I've been saying that for
Yeah,
years.
yeah. But I mean, it's starting to become so obvious now. So obvious now. It's so obvious that
Is it?
oh yeah. Yeah, have you ever felt like when you were a teen, when you ever do you ever felt like when you were in elementary school, like in the kindergarten, the second grade, like you were like different from everybody else?
I've been saying that as long as I can remember, my brother.
Okay, me too.
My whole life, people told me I'm weird, and I said, "You're fucking weird. I'm the smart one. You're
Yeah,
dumb."
and the second thing is, did you ever feel like people are trying to like stop you and try to hold you back ever since you were like in
Hold me
elementary
back from
school?
what?
From everything, every aspect of life.
No,
Like you're not picked, like you weren't picked in this, when they line up and say pick your team or
I
whatever, you
was
were
always
elected.
picked. I was always captain.
See? Okay, well, see, the thing of it is like maybe different people have different experiences. Okay, that's fine, but the thing of it is like some of them, maybe that's from the peer point, which I admit, yeah, I was picked to a lot, but a lot of times I wasn't. But on a peer level, like the adults that look at the kids, like didn't you feel like you were looked at like lower than the rest of them ever?
No, never.
No? Okay,
I
well,
didn't grow up in a negative environment at all. Actually the environment I grew up in was extremely positive, and you're the best. You could be anything you want.
okay,
Nobody,
that was the environment I had at home, but when
but
I got out of the house,
even when I got
that's
out,
what I'm talking about.
but no. What I'm saying, because
Yeah,
you may have gone down a different path. See, mentally, I
yeah.
wasn't probably ready to be at your level yet. So until I was 36, that's when they came, I think, and made this happen and showed up over my house 2 nights in a row, which made me get a hold of you.
Okay, well, see, the thing is like ever since I was like 6 or 7 years old, I was seeing like aliens in my room, or being like having my hand held by some unknown hand force and all, and like
I've
being
had,
lifted up out of
yeah,
my bed at
yeah,
night, and all this weird stuff. So
yeah, yeah.
like I already knew by the time I was 10 years old that there's like another
Something
world out
different.
there.
Yep, me
And
too.
so I think people see that on me. It's like there's something different about this guy. Like he knows more than these other people. So we're going to try to suppress this person. We're not going to let him like grow. Like
Yeah, I
we're
could see
like,
that.
kind of like the clique of the school, the clique
That's
of the group. Like you're
interesting.
not really part of it because you are weird. You're like laying in the playground in the grass, like looking for like aliens like in the sky, and we're gonna go play football over here or
Oh,
do
wow,
whatever
I didn't.
type of
Yeah.
crap like that. So yeah, it's a totally
So
different.
wait, you were doing that in high school?
No, in like elementary school.
Oh, see, that is so amazing. Okay, I never ever did that. My whole life's totally different than
By the
yours. The
time I
way I
got to
got into this, I had when I moved to Arizona, I started having dreams about UFOs when I was 10 and 11. When I first moved, because there was an open school and all this stuff next door to me.
yeah.
And then I started having dreams when I was 13. We moved
Hmm.
towards McDowell Mountains. We were the only house around for about a mile, and it started having weird things. So I think I was being prepped. I was seeing things periodically in my life to
Yeah.
keep me interested.
Yeah,
And
you were
then,
being prepped, as an
right. And then when I
investigator and
finally was
researcher.
able to be, I was financially stable, married, I can make my own schedule. That's when I got into ufology full time and was 14 hours a day. See, it's different. That's how it happened for me. For you, it started when you were a baby.
Yeah, yeah, I was always like involved with these
You
guys.
were different. Yeah,
Yeah,
you really were.
and you know what was weird? It's like I was like always suppressed and held back by the peers of like the teacher. Like for some reason they couldn't. I don't know. I kept
How?
quiet. Okay, when I was in kindergarten. Okay, when I was done with kindergarten, like we moved in the second grade or the first grade, right? You go
Okay.
from kindergarten to the first grade, right? And so like when we got to the first grade, like I got like maybe a couple months in the first grade, and they said, nah. Like all of a sudden they said, nah, you got to go back to kindergarten at the end of
No
the.
way.
Yeah, dude, this
Do
is
you
what they
know
did.
they told
Dude,
my parents to hold me back,
Dude, yeah, but they didn't. What they did
but
was,
they didn't.
but they didn't. It was different. It was weirder. It was even weirder than being held back. What they did
Yes.
is
Wow.
like, okay, I would be in the first grade for like half of the day, and then at the middle of the day I would have to go back to the kindergarten class until the end of the day, and then I would go home. That would complete the school year. And they didn't tell my parents.
What?
They didn't tell them. Yeah, so I told my mom.
Wow.
I told her, why are they
But why would they do that? I mean, what does that have to do with anything in UFOs and what does that have to do with it?
because I think, well, I'll tell you why. Because probably
I'm curious how you came up with this idea.
Because during the recess period, I was out in the field laying down and looking at the sky. And there was two
Right.
other kids that I would take with me. And one time we were all looking at the sky, and they were like, well, one of them came over and they like laid down. They go, what are you looking at? And I go, I see UFOs and aliens. Like they show
Right.
up. And he's like, bull crap or whatever. And so another kid runs over and he goes, what are you guys doing? And the kid goes, he's looking for aliens. And so the other kid like lays down and goes, well, I'll check it out. And I swear to you, dude, right when the other kid like laid down, we were all three of us looking at the sky. And all of a sudden, we seen this like, it was like a cylinder. It showed up, right? Like this, a regular.
Like a Tic Tac or cigar?
Yeah, yeah. And it went like this. It went up like a ladder. One,
Yeah.
up, and up. 3 steps.
Oh,
Boom,
wait.
boom.
You
boom.
mean like it was on a pogo stick almost?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
have something like that on video. Yeah, go ahead.
And as soon as that happened,
Blue.
those other two jumped up and screamed and started running away. And
They saw it too?
Yeah, all three of them. They took off running.
Wait,
after
how
that.
big how high was it? How big?
It was up like the puffy clouds, are floating
Maybe
around.
1,000 feet or 5,000.
Yeah, something like that. But they were lower than the cloud. It was a little bit lower than the cloud. And they jumped up and ran away, and they knew they was real at that.
And
they knew
that
what I was
point-
doing. They probably told the teachers, and they probably said, "Well, this guy." They probably didn't believe it, but they probably thought I was something wrong with me. So they were like, "You got to go back to kindergarten after the day, middle of the first grade day. You have to go back to kindergarten for the rest of the day." And so what happened was, it's like I told my mom that they'd done that, and so she went down to the principal's office. And the next day after that, they had me like all the way through first grade. Then they didn't try to jack with me anymore. And so yeah, dude,
It's such a weird story.
it was whacked, bro. It was
That is
whacked.
so bizarre.
And then what was even weirder is when I got to the third grade. It keeps even weirder. It gets even weirder, dude. When I got to the third grade, the teacher like somehow said something to somebody or she made something happen to where they told me, they came in and they said that I need special help, learning stuff like math and like spelling and stuff like that. And they said, so half of the day, like half of the day you're going to be in this normal class, and then half of the day you're going to have to go to a totally different building. And so I went to this different building, and this was the weirdest thing, is I went to this building, and there was like a group of like 20 kids in this building, and there was probably like 4 or 5 of them that were like normal like me, that knew what was going on like in the normal other classes, that were smart like me. They could figure shit out. But the rest of the class was like total freaking retards, dude. They would have like people with like in wheelchairs and like jacked up people, like totally messed up people, like blind people, like all kind of, like, I'm not putting down like saying that word's bad or whatever. I know, but
they were disabled. You weren't.
But it really was. They really were that.
Yeah.
So
they put you
not
in
only
with
that,
them.
but they were not only disabled but flat out crazy people. There was a kid with a freaking helmet on that would like bash his head through the freaking glass.
I know that guy. That was Bobby the Brain.
And so this is what you said. There was a glass in the back of the room. It was like a one-way mirror.
Yeah.
with 2 doors on each side, and the teacher comes out. This was the first day. He says,
Jesus.
yeah, and you know what? Every desk had a mic hanging right over the top of it.
What?
Yes, straight to the ceiling with a wire, a microphone.
Wow.
Yeah, dude, I'm telling you, this is the craziest crap ever.
In
And so-
Arizona?
No, this was in Washington State,
Oh,
bro.
okay.
Bellevue, dude.
This is crazy.
Yeah, it's so nuts.
This is like a movie.
It is worse than a movie. My whole life is a freaking movie, man.
What
I'm telling
was that? What?
you. Dude, so let me tell you what he said. It's nuts. He comes out and he goes, see that room back there? He
Behind the
goes,
glass?
Yeah, he goes, when we go back there, we can see you can't see us. And he goes, you know what else we have? Everything you ever say. And he points, he says, see those microphones? He goes, we record everything you say when you come and sit down.
Wow.
The minute you get in the room, we record everything.
Wow.
And so then he says, get up and follow me. And so we go out the door to a different room and to a hallway. And then there's a room with like a lock on it. And he opened it up and it's like a pink room, like a very small, it looked like a freaking closet, like a closet where you put your clothes in, a walk-in closet.
It was small,
small, like a walk-in closet.
It was
with
like
the walls,
3x5 or 3x7.
with the walls painted pink, with one chair
to calm you down. Yeah.
Yeah, and he says, if you get out of the line, we're gonna throw you in here and lock you up all day.
Unreal, dude.
And, yeah, dude.
Do you remember the name of the school?
Yeah, I do. And you know what's even crazier?
I want it. Not
is
now.
when I'll tell you one more crazy story.
Then we gotta go.
Yeah. Okay, when I was in kindergarten, like they say, hey, we have to test you. And so like a guy came into the kindergarten room with a military outfit on, and he says, is Jeff Willis here?
What?
And yeah. And he goes, well, we already know he's here.
How old were you?
I was a kindergarten, like 5 years old, 6 years old.
Right. I'm making sure.
He goes, we need to test you. And so I go outside the kindergarten door, and there's a freaking tank outside the door. A tank, dude.
Whoa.
Yeah, and so he put me inside the tank. They put me inside of. Yeah, dude. I crawl into the tank. No, I told them after I got home.
This is crazy.
Yeah, dude. I go inside the tank. They put me in the tank, bro. And they put these earphones on, these headphones. And the guy sits down next to me and goes, I want you to tell me if you can hear these tones. And I go, the first tone, I hear it. Second tone, I go, yep, I hear it. He goes, put your hand up if you hear the tone. And so I go, 1, 2. And they started getting quieter and quieter and quieter. And the third one, fourth one, fifth one. He goes, can you hear that? And I go, yeah. He goes, one more. He goes, can you hear that? And I go, yeah. He goes, one more. Can you hear that?
Uh-huh.
I go, yeah. He goes, all right. Come with me. And so they get me out and they put me back in the room. And then they leave.
Sounds like MK Ultra shit.
And I was like, what was that? I asked the teacher, what was that? And they said, I go, why do I have to do all that? And they said they requested that.
Wow.
And so when I got home, I told them. And then my mom called the school and they said it was a special hearing test that they needed to take.
In a tank?
Yeah, with the military. Yeah, I'm serious, dude. This is crazy. Okay,
That's the most bizarre thing.
Yeah, my whole life is bizarre. I got many stories bizarre like that, and maybe
we'll
go through more sometime.
So
but dude,
out there, dude. That makes
no
sense to me.
You know what's crazy? Is that guy Andrew Biasiago, the time traveler guy?
Basiago, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. One time, because of all those crazy weird ass stories about MK Ultra and time traveling with his dad being in all these special weird operations. One time and because of the fact that he's located in Washington State, I felt like many years ago, like 14 or 15 years ago, I was compelled to call him and ask him if he ever had that experience, because most of his experiences were when he was a younger child.
Yeah.
So I asked him that, and I think I sent him a message or an email, and he responded. He said he's never had that experience.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
But I was like, I'm trying to reach out. Like, who else has had this happen?
That is so wild, dude. That is really a cool story, though, nonetheless, especially since who you are in this field and what you've been doing your whole life.
Yeah, it's nuts.
Unfortunately, we have to end things, but man, I appreciate you coming on for the last hour. That was really interesting.
Yeah, is there time to plug everything?
Yeah. UFOs over Phoenix, Jeff Willis. I put the link in the chat and description already.
Yeah, and what I was going to say is since I can't do super chats or monthly memberships for my YouTube channel, just go to UFOs or Phoenix and hit the donate button, and you can donate that way. Or you can find the Buy Me a Coffee link or any of the other donation links in my YouTube descriptions.
They're all there.
They're all
Thanks,
there.
man.
Yeah. Thanks, man. Appreciate
Yeah,
that.
dude.
And we're going to have to do the old get together again sometime. So let me know whenever you want to do it, like once a month again, or
yeah,
however
we'll
you
probably
wanna
go
do it.
back to that. Yeah, I think that sounds good.
Yeah, cool,
Probably do
man.
that
Like in the
again.
middle of the month, right
Like
there.
about now,
Mhm.
yeah, give or take.
Yeah.
All
Cool,
right.
man.
Yeah, thanks,
All right,
man.
well,
This
I
was
hope you
great.
enjoyed it, man. That's why, like, it's weird. I got to just say, just because I've experienced so much, I have like a more broader mind of like what could be possible, and that's just all I can say about that,
I can't wait to crack that mind open more.
Right.
Thanks, man.
Yeah,
Thank
thanks,
you.
man.
Yeah,
Thanks,
and
Coupon. Yeah.
take care and be safe, all right?
Take care, be safe, and especially when you do those weird videos where you're like, try to videotape shit. Be careful, bro.
You'll see the one I got just the other.
Oh, God.
I'm putting one up tomorrow morning.
Oh, man.
Dude, it'll scare you what happened.
I'm praying for you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. This is a banger of a video that happened.
Oh, man.
Let's just say 5 cop cars, 6 cops, a whole security team, a deacon of a church, more security. It was crazy.
Isn't it weird how like so many people do this for so long and they still don't get it? Like they still don't know what's going on. And it's like, don't you know? It's like you took an oath to like uphold this very Constitution. Like, why don't you get it already? There was this one video where a guy said, "Hey, just get out of here and go back and read the Constitution and come back when you're done." He told the cop that.
Yeah, you have to. They're idiots.
And don't forget to read the Bill of Rights either before you get out.
Yeah,
get out of the house.
They're unbelievable. I don't know. It's not the right place, but
yeah,
I just
we're going
over.
It,
yeah, no, it's all right. I used to have a respect for them, but no more. But anyway, thanks. I'll let you go.
All right, man. Take care.
Yeah,
Good
you
luck.
too. You too. Thanks.
See you.
Yeah, and it's true. Rich Saves America. I got the banger of a video. It's a 2-parter actually. So part 1 will be out tomorrow because it was an hour and a half long audit, and it was crazy. It's just amazing that people don't get you can record in public. You can't record me. My face is my identity. It's mine. It's my private. No, you're in public. So stupid. All right, guys. Thanks everybody for hanging out. And again, go check out Jeff Willis on the links in the show description already, ufosoverphoenix.com. And go help that guy out. He's putting in the effort like you wouldn't believe. And you can help us out too here. We do rely on you. Thank you, super chatters. Thank you, moderators. Keeping this the greatest chat room in ufology, I think. It doesn't matter what anybody else thinks. It only matters what I think. And Thor. So I love that guy. I love you, Thor. Yeah, I do. I think you're an interesting I was going to say cat. And then I was going to say fellow. And it came out fat. You're an interesting fellow. But, and newcomers and veterans, thank you for getting together, making this an interesting evening as well in the chat. And to round off tonight, we have the poll. 91 votes. And I'm going to end it 92, 93 votes have just popped in there. So, I'm ending it. Who do you believe is actually working for disclosure and not for their career only? Coming in at 5%, Boo Hoo Loo. Coming in at 8%, David Grush, whatever. 29%, Dr. Stephen Greers. And coming in at 56%, which I'm surprised at. I thought it would be 65, 75. Not one of these guys working for disclosure. Only for their careers. Interesting voting there. Appreciate that. I don't know. It's hard to come up with an interesting way of coming up with these polls, but that wasn't the best. I admit that one. All right. Thanks again, everybody. And I'm going to get you guys out of here with a little bit of Lucian and the Broke Me In broke me down outro for Goof On. We'll see you guys tomorrow night, Thursday. It's a banger. It's part 2. If you want to hang out, I don't think you want to miss this one tomorrow. Have a good night. And if you ain't looking up, you ain't looking out. And William Bridges renewed his membership one more time. Thank you very much. Yo, they do truthology for ufology? Yeah, they do it for you. Now that's good to know. All right. We'll see you guys. Alien bless. Whoa, hey, that didn't restart? Well, ain't that something? We'll start right there.
Winds howl deep across my bones. You carved your name. I'm left alone. Scars like rivers burning bright. In your shadow, I lose the fight. Broke me in, broke me down. Shattered soul hit the ground. Echo scream, no safe sound. Broke me in, broke me down. Steel strings wail, thunder roars, battered heart, open sores.